on short notice. I did go read some of the great stuff that you have produced for the Federalist, and of course, you were highly recommended by a great friend of the Stone Zone. That would be Pastor Darrell Scott, a great man and one of President Trump's key political and spiritual advisors. So I'm glad you could give us the time. Sloan, what explains this tsunami of anti Semitism on the American campuses? I admit to you that it takes me by surprise.
It is very surprising. And I think if there's a silver lining out of this whole dark period in recent American history, is that the rank and file American is as shocked as you are. They're looking around and saying, where did this hate come from? But underneath this, we have seen, if you can imagine an iceberg, what has been brewing underneath for more than 20 years is CRT, critical race theory, and DEI. And it has really come to a head in the last 3 years. And what it does is it really, on the surface, it pits each race class against one another. So white males have been the target, straight white males, Christians, and Jews are especially the target of all of this hate. And so we have seen, also immigration policies have brought this on. When Obama came into power, his policies went pretty aggressively to recruiting those from terror-stricken nations who are trained and kind of bred to hate Jews from a very young age. So I think it's a combination of those two things. And now we're seeing the very dangerous effect of those.
I want you to speak to some of your activities in the state where you actually worked very aggressively for the passage of bills to stop boys from playing in girls' sports. I can't even believe that we're debating this, to be honest with you. You've seen President Trump say that. I agree with him. A few years ago, this would be unthinkable. Yet, if you go out and say that in any public forum, you'll be attacked as some kind of bigot, as if something is wrong with you. Tell us about that particular fight.
Well, luckily, the folks that have been fighting arm in arm with me happen to be members of the gay and trans community who also agree that, fair is fair and that there is a biological difference between boys and girls. And so my organization, and me in particular, covered one of the only high school cases where a girl, and in this case, a female volleyball player, was spiked in the face by a male player, and to this day has severe damage to her face, including paralysis. So we covered that case, and we were really the moving spirit behind the law that finally protects girls and really prevents them from being a spectator in their own sport. But I can't believe we're having this conversation. And people ask me all the time, why are we having to make a law that's on the face of it stupid? One simple reason: Democrats. That's why.
Yeah, I think that's an excellent answer. So you referenced the fact that CRT and DEI have really been the cause of this radicalization and anti-Semitism on the campuses. Can you expand on that a little bit?
Well, in the world of DEI and critical race theory, there are only two kinds of people. That would be the oppressed and the oppressors. And if you do not fit in the category that is the oppressed, then you are dead meat. And again, that combined with immigration policies in some areas on college campuses really bring out the worst of these haters who, it's always been below the surface, but they bring it out. Let me give you an example. University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. We had 3 days after the horrific massacre in Israel, 3 days after, a student group, a Palestinian group by the name of Students for Justice in Palestine, sent out invitations to a demonstration with paragliders on the cover of the invitation. And as you know, paragliders came in, these terrorists, and killed innocent teens and young adults at this music festival. Anyway, during the festival, and I'm not joking, demonstrators said, "We are Hamas," and proceeded to call for the death of Jews. So this is coming from a climate on our university campuses where people who are doing these types of things, they do not receive punishment at all whatsoever. But then on the other hand, you have at the same campus young men who are scholars who are allegedly not being given due process when accused of wrongdoing. So there's a double standard here. Jews are in the crosshair because, not only are they white, but they're also Jewish. And it's kind of a double helping of, I guess, oppressor. And really, there's been no repercussions of this. We haven't seen it at Harvard, my alma mater, or MIT, or Penn, or UNC here in a red state where you would think there would be repercussions and there'd be prompt action. We're just not seeing it.
You are a Harvard undergraduate. What was your reaction to the hearing in which New York Upstate Congresswoman Elise Stefanik essentially, I think, very effectively confronted three university presidents, including the president of Harvard, regarding the anti-Semitism on their campuses? What was your reaction to that hearing?
Well, that did surprise me. I was absolutely shocked. I mean, these were three chancellors who were lawyer prepared, by the way. And if that's the best that their legal teams can do to fend off aggressive Title VI actions that are coming, then they really need to get new lawyers. Look, if you don't know that death to Jews is offensive, not only offensive, but could really rob Jewish students of their 14th Amendment rights to pursue their education, unfettered education, then you're really you don't have any business leading a university. And they circle the wagons we see on the left. I mean, I definitely predicted that, particularly with a woman of color. I definitely saw this coming, where no matter what she said or what she did, Jews and others, we would seemingly be blamed for her ineptness and essentially for our own victimization.